What we're going to talk about right now is ball security. And ball security is probably the most undercoached aspect of offensive football. My name is James Vint, and I'm going to talk to you about how you can teach, coach, drill, and hold guys accountable to having great ball security. Before I get started, I want to remind you, you can like this video down below. Helps it move up the charts a little bit. Subscribe to my channel. Like and subscribe. I'm going to be putting out a lot more of these videos to help you. Ball security is one of the most undercoached aspects, as I said. It's something where early in my career, we used to coach it by saying, don't fumble the ball. Hold the ball high and tight. But we never really coached it. We just said those things, and we found ourselves fumbling a lot, and we realized we had to do something different. There are really 4 keys to offensive football, and turnovers are one of these 4 keys. We look at red zone efficiency. Want to score 90% touchdowns in the red zone. We need to eliminate turnovers. We got to protect the rock. Third downs, we got to be really good, 50% on third down. And we got to limit negative plays. When we do these 4 things, we win 100% of our games. Everything we talk about offensively is efficiency and explosiveness. What do we mean? Well, when we're efficient, we keep the chains moving. We keep our offense on the field. And on third down, we're able to move the chain. And then when we get into the red zone, we're able to score. We're able to finish drives with touchdowns. Explosiveness are those big plays, those 12-yard runs, 16-yard passes. Those are explosives. And then our momentum plays that are 25 yards or more. So looking at numbers, I went back for about 15 years and looked at some of these numbers. We win 100% of our games when we're 50% or better on third down. We win 94% of our games when we don't turn the ball over. We win 100% of our games when we're 100% in the red zone. In 2019, we averaged 9 yards a play, but only 52 snaps a game. But with those 52 snaps, we still averaged almost 475 yards a game. We were 50%, we were over 50%. I think we were about 52% on third down. That year, we were 92% in the red zone. Because we took care of the football, we had 14 drives of 92 yards or more, and 3 of those went 99 yards. So 3 times we were pinned inside our own 1. And we had 21 touchdown drives that were 3 plays or less. That's really good. Those are good numbers. Looking at some numbers, comparing 18 and 19. Okay, so 18, we didn't coach ball security very well. We got lazy with it as coaches. I got lazy with it as an offensive coordinator. We ended up fumbling the ball 18 times. Now, we had a good year. Don't get me wrong. We still had a good year. And those 18 fumbles, that put us kind of middle of the pack. But in 2019, we only had 6 fumbles. Why? Because we made a commitment in the spring of 2019, spring of 2019 rather, that we were never going to let fumbles interrupt drives again. You see, there's nothing worse than you have the football, you're driving the ball, or you just started a drive, and all of a sudden you fumble and the other team gets the ball. It's a huge momentum play, and they end up stealing possessions. You cost yourself possessions. And the reason the turnover margin is so important is it gives you more possessions than your opponent. Because we fumbled less, you look at our yards. In 2018, we had 5,100 yards of offense. Still really good. 2019, we had 5,900 yards of offense. So we had 800 more yards of offense in the same number of games. And it wasn't scheme. It wasn't offensive line play. It wasn't our skill guys. Turnovers were the biggest factor there. We went from 76% in the red zone to 92%. And a big part of that were turnovers in the red zone. That helped us score more. And then we went from 44% on third down to 52% on third down. Turnovers, big part of the key. Now here's some parameters you must set with your coaches and your players. First, fumbles are a choice. You choose to fumble. You choose bad ball security. 95% of fumbles could have been avoided by properly securing the football. So about 5% of fumbles take place when you have good ball security, you're doing everything right, and a player's helmet hits the ball in just the right way. Something happens that makes that ball pop loose. That will happen on about 5% of fumbles. 95% are the ones we can control. So we want to secure the football so we don't fumble the ball. The first thing we're going to do when we teach this is we're going to define it. If your kids don't know how to define ball security, they can't have it. The definition is important. So we used to say high and tight. That was a long time ago. It was high and tight, high and tight, high and tight. But our kids, we never defined what that meant. See, we just gave them the coaching cue, but not the definition. We changed our coaching cue to chin the ball, and here's the definition of ball security. wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. Our coaching cue is chin the ball. If our wrist is above the elbow, elbow's tight to the body, we're chinning the ball. Ball on the outside arm in the open field. If you're in traffic, you're having contact, you want to try to get two hands on the football. If ball security is a choice, then coaching ball security is a choice, and we have to make that choice as coaches that we're going to coach it. And I firmly believe you are either coaching elite ball security or you are allowing poor ball security. What does it mean to chin the ball? What's the definition? Two fingers over the point of the ball. You can see in the picture, we want the index finger and the middle finger over the point of the ball or around the point of the ball. We want the ball tight against the forearm with the opposite panel tight against the chest. And we want the elbow locked against the body. The wrist is above the elbow is tight to the body. The ball is glued to the chest. Here's some examples of bad ball security. You can see here, elbow's out from the body and the wrist is even with the elbow. That's not going to be good. It doesn't take much for that to become a fumble. Here's another example. Wrist is below the elbow, elbow's out from the body. That's going to become a fumble. It only takes one or two fingers to knock that loose. Here you can see the wrist is below the elbow. The elbow's tight to the body, but the wrist is below the elbow. That's not meeting our standard. That's a fumble waiting to happen. All right, here's an example of bad ball security. Going to show you a game example. Player's going to catch the football. You can see right now the wrist is not above the elbow, and where's the elbow? It's out from the body. And you can see the defender's hand come in there. You're going to see it right here. As the defender comes in to make the tackle, you can see his arm just touch the ball. And now that ball is vertical. It looks like a little kid carrying a football, and it's coming out. It's on its way out. His second arm, that left arm, comes in right here, and it's come around, and it has now poked the football out. That's all it took for that to become a fumble. Had we had the ball chinned, wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body, that's not a fumble. That's not going to become a fumble. Here's the same play, different angle. You can see right here. See how the wrist below the elbow comes behind the back and then out from the body, and there you see that paw come in. Right here. See that hand come in right here, knocking the ball loose. And the ball's on the turf, and now we took an opportunity to score and gave it to the other team in great field position. Here's another example of bad ball security. This is going to be the quarterback here. All right, so the quarterback, you can see right here, elbow is above the wrist. So the wrist is below the elbow. Look at that, elbow out from the body. And right here, right there, you're going to see that hand come in and poke the ball. That's all it took. That little poke from the defender, and the ball's loose, and we go from going in to score, just about to be in the red zone, to now they have the momentum, they have the football, and they've stolen that possession from us. We actually gave it to them because we chose bad ball security. Here's good ball security. Wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. Now this player, he has that index finger. I'd like to see that index finger over the point or just to this side so that you're using those two fingers on the ball. But he felt like his thumb was stronger to be that second anchor point. But his elbow's tight to the body. The wrist is above the elbow. All right, here's two more pictures. Wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. And you can see the ball is tight to the chest. They're not going to be able to get that ball out. Here it is again, wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. Wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. All right, here's good ball security. Ball's thrown out on the perimeter right here. Player catches the football. And you can see he's got the wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. Now that wrist drops just a little. As he gets into traffic, he brings it back up. They're raking at the ball. They can't get it out. Wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. Here's another example of good ball security. Receiver makes the catch, turns upfield. Wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. They're raking at the ball. They can't get the ball out. Ball security is a choice. Here's another example. All right, so the player now is in traffic. Wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. You can see there's a rake right there trying to yank the ball out. Helmet comes in right on the football. It knocks his elbow loose just a little, but because this would have been a fumble if he doesn't have good ball security. And now he's able to recover, get that elbow back tight, keep the ball chinned. Here's the same play, different angle. You can see right here, wrist above, look at this. I mean, they're yanking at it, they're pulling on it, wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body. He's got the ball chinned. That ball is glued. He pops out just a second and he recovers. Immediately gets it back to that position, and he's able to secure the football. All right, so common mistakes. First mistake, we see the elbow get behind the body. In that bottom picture there. When that elbow, when they're running, you have to coach them how to run. When that elbow gets behind the body, the ball becomes visible, and a defender now can poke at the ball. Second thing is that wrist drops. So if the wrist drops, they don't have the same ball security because it's not going to be glued to the chest. All right, here's an example. Common mistakes right here. Player catches the football, and you can see the elbow goes back, and the ball's not glued to the chest, and then it comes completely out. If it's glued to the chest, you can keep it glued. If it's not glued, you got to work hard to get it back. You could see he had to work hard to recover that. This probably should have been a fumble. All right, this is something where we're going to coach the heck out of this. You can't coach the result. You've got to coach the process. This should have been a fumble. All right, so how do we coach it? First thing, we're going to define it. Wrist above the elbow, elbow tight to the body, with our coaching cue being chin the ball. We're going to drill it. So we've got some ball security drills I'm going to take you through. We're going to correct it. We're going to give feedback, and not just good job or bad job or that's terrible or chin the ball. Hey, get your wrist up. Your wrist is below the elbow. Or your wrist is below your elbow. Hey, your elbow's out for your body. So we're going to give those instructions. And then we're going to recoach it. We're going to fix the mistakes. We're going to reteach it and give them a chance to do it right. So here's our ball security circuit that I'm going to take you through. I'm going to take you through 5 of these. I'm not going to take you through the high point. That's a receiver drill we do, but it's an important one I wanted to talk about, where our receivers are going to catch the ball at its highest point while having hands right through the football, so they've got to get that ball caught and secured. We're going to do monkey rolls. We're going to go through 2 balls. The Welker drill, sideline drill, and bad handoff. All right, monkey rolls. A lot of fumbles happen on the way to the ground or at the ground. Monkey rolls emphasize keeping the ball tight to the body as you go to the ground. So as you go to the ground, the ball doesn't pop out. We know the ground can't cause a fumble in the rule book, but about half the time that the ground causes a fumble, the other team's going to get the football and the ref's going to give it to them. All right? Those are we don't want the ref to have to ever make that judgment. We give the ball to the ref. That's an important thing. We tell our players, who gives the ball to the ref? We do. Every play. We don't flip it on the ground. We don't leave it on the ground. We give it to the ref. That way he knows we gave it to him. It's still our ball. It's also polite. All right? That's polite football. Give the ball to the ref. All right? So monkey rolls also put players in an uncomfortable situation. It's kind of an uncomfortable drill. So it's a little bit of a toughness drill. And we talked to them about chinning the ball as we go to the ground. So we set this drill up right here. We've got about 12 guys. So 6 guys are going to go at a time. We don't want more than half the guys going, and we don't want to do this drill for more than 30 seconds. Typically, we're going to go 15 to 30 seconds. And then the next group will go. So half your guys go, half are taking a break, because it's kind of a grueling drill. What are we coaching here? We're coaching chinning the ball as we go to the ground. What we're teaching the players is use your off hand as you go down, not your ball hand. And then roll through your ball shoulder. Let it be natural. We want to make sure we do this drill. Watch them. Watch here. So you see the kid right there, 67 I think he's wearing. You can see he's got the ball in his right arm. Now he's switching to go to the left arm. So our players are going to do this drill, and we're going to make sure they're switching arms. We don't want them always being in the same arm, but we're working this drill. Here's how it affects in a game, and it's a lot. It happens often. I'm going to just show you a couple clips. All right, here you go. Ball carrier has the ball. He gets tripped up. He's trying to use that off arm. He's kind of floating through the air, and then he's going to roll through, keeping the ball chinned. We're coaching them on this drill. If I went back to that previous slide, we're coaching every rep. Hey, your wrist is dropping. Hey, keep the ball tight. Chin the ball. Keep the ball glued to the chest. Hey, keep your wrist up. Keep your elbow tight. So we're coaching every rep. And we film. All right? Now, sometimes we don't have a filmer. So it's a coach or a player filming with the Huddle app. That's fine. Film with your phone. I'm filming and coaching. That's why that film jumped around a little bit. But then I'm going to show them that film. We're going to take some time. I'm either going to share the clips with them, or if you build meeting time in with your players, Don't just show them the plays. Show them some drill tape in your meetings. It helped us immensely for ball security. Here's another one. So we get a big run. We're going to get down here. We're going to get tripped. You can see him use his offhand, and then he tries to roll through the other arm. Use his offhand to brace, and then roll through, keeping that ball tight. Here's another one. Player's going to catch the football. There's a high point drill. And as he goes down, he's trying to get that off arm. He can't get it to the ground, so he's going to roll through, keep the ball. Look at the ball. He's got it glued to the chest. He's trying to keep that elbow tight, keep the ball glued to the chest. Next drill is 2 balls. This is a variation of the gauntlet drill. This emphasizes keeping the ball chinned as players try to rake at the ball and pull it out. We use 2 balls so we can use both arms. And then we tell our players self-correct. If you feel the ball unchinned, reach in. You're always trying to have perfect ball security. Don't give up because you lose ball security. So as they walk through, players are just pulling at the football. They're trying to pull that ball loose. It's really important. And then the next guy goes. You can see they're trying to rake the ball out. All your skill guys, quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, H-backs, all skill guys must go through this drill. I think your defensive guys should go through this as well, because the worst thing that can happen is you get a pick or a scoop and score and then fumble the ball right back on the same play. All right, so here's 2 balls in a game. Player takes the handoff. He's now going through the line. You can see, boom, guy's raking at the ball, and he's able to keep the ball secured. Here's another one. So now he's going to take the handoff. You can see as he works through, a guy right here, 52, is going to rake at the ball so hard that it actually spins him. But he's got the wrist above the, now see here, the elbow's out. He self-corrects. Boom, he gets that elbow back in. So as that player tries to pull the ball, the elbow's tight. See, if his elbow was still out, that ball's out. But because he got the elbow's out, he gets the elbow back in. He self-corrected immediately. Now we're able to secure the football. It doesn't come loose, and we're able to gain yards on the play. All right, Welker drill. We used to call this a shoot drill. All right, and it's we're going to catch the football. We're going to turn and get vertical with great ball security, getting our shoulders down, running behind our pads, and trying to get yards where we catch in traffic, and we get that extra 2, 3, 4 yards where we're not getting tackled on the catch. Every one of our skill guys is going to go through this drill. We used to call this shoot drill. We call it Welker drill because Seth Parr, who's the head coach at Melissa, was at Coronado, and they do a drill called Welker drill. It's not a ball security drill. It's a catch and get vertical drill, but I like the name and our players could relate to it. We're going to emphasize working catch to tuck. We tell our guys, see catch, tuck, cover, see the point, catch the football in your hands soft, bringing it into the body, tuck, see it into the tuck, and then cover with the off arm. And then get vertical. And this is what the drill looks like. We're going to set this drill up with a quarterback throwing to a receiver. We're going to have 2 coaches with bags or 2 players with bags, and they're hitting that ball carrier as he makes the catch. And then we've got 2 guys. A great investment is go get yourself some boxing gloves at Target. They're about $15, $20 a pair. Get a couple pairs of those, tape them to the end of a PVC pipe. And now we're going to try to poke at the ball with those sticks. All right, so we're going to go through this drill. We're going to get the guys a bunch of reps. And now here it is in a game. So we're teaching them to catch the football, see it into your tuck, get vertical, get behind your pads, and get the ball chinned. Here's an example. He gets behind his pads, he gets the ball chinned. All right, he gets the ball chinned, and his contact comes right here. He doesn't get tackled at the spot. He's getting behind his pads, and he's getting 6 yards after contact. So we're going to work that Welker drill. Here it is with a single receiver. All right, he's going to make the catch down here at the bottom. He's going to turn, get vertical, get behind his pads. He's going to chin the ball, and he's going to get 5 yards after contact. So instead of a 10-yard play, you get a 15-yard play. You want to turn those routine plays into explosives. So that's the Welker drill. Now let's talk sideline drill. It's a competitive drill working on having the ball in the outside arm. We want the players to keep the ball chinned or keep the ball tight to the chest while having players punch at it and try to knock them out of bounds. We finish through the goal line. All right, so now we're working left arm. If we're going to work right arm for the whole day, we'd flip the drill on the other side of the field. If we're just going to stay in one spot and we want to go left arm then right arm, then we'll flip it and work coming out of the goal line. All right, so here we're working down. We got a coach punching, hitting them with the bag, and then we got two coaches with the boxing gloves. Now, we're on a teach day, so we've got all our coaches, all our players down as we're teaching this drill. Here's a key on this. Once we break this into a circuit where we're going to have 5 to 6 guys at a station, you're going to have 2 guys with the boxing gloves. You're going to have 1 guy with a shield. So you're going to have players being the opposition. So you've got to coach the opposition on this. And then we're going to go through the drill. You can see we're trying to get reps. We're trying to get reps. We're trying to stay in bounds and keep good ball security. You can see the wrist dropped a little bit there. All right, so we're going to coach these guys. We're going to coach the heck out of them on this drill. We're giving them feedback. We're working really hard to help them get better. And that helps us when we get into a game. And now we're going to run the football and end up going down the sideline. Here you can see the ball bounces. Hash number sideline. Ball on the outside arm. He's got guys trying to knock him out of bounds. He's got guys trying to rake the ball. On that drill, we're trying to stay in bounds when we get hit. You can see he should have got pushed out at the 26. He ends up out of bounds at the 41, so he got 15 more yards. All right, here is another clip in a game. Hash number sidelines. As he goes to bounce, guys are going to poke at the ball, try to knock him out of bounds. This one, he ended up going out a little bit sooner. But this sideline drill works those specific situations that you're going to face in a game. Here's sideline drill again. All right, this is the clip I showed you earlier. Now, here it turns into sideline drill. So he could have got knocked out right there at the 35. He ends up getting about 8 more yards. And again, doesn't fumble the football when guys are poking at it. Bad handoff drill. Final one I'm going to go through here. Works on taking a handoff that's not well placed. So we're going to emphasize our big soft pocket, our deep pocket. What we teach them is pin the thumb, frame your number. So your up arm, the top arm, the arm close to the quarterback, you're going to pin your thumb facing downward. By your thumb being downward, it's going to raise your elbow. We want that thumb almost in his throat, just at the very top of the chest. We want the bottom arm framing the number. That means he's at the belt line. That's a big, soft pocket, a big target for the quarterback. And then they're just partnered up, and they're giving each other handoffs that are a little bit high, a little bit low, a little bit inside, a little bit outside. So they're getting used to taking those handoffs. This is practice because it's going to happen in a game. We work mesh drill where we work all of our meshes with our quarterbacks and running backs, but you're going to have a handoff that's not well placed. Here's one that's placed at down below the belt line. So the player's got to secure that handoff. So it's really important that we practice this. Otherwise, they're not going to be very good when they get a bad handoff. All right, so let's talk about accountability. You've got to have accountability. We're going to give immediate feedback every rep. We're going to give specific feedback. Hey, get your wrist above the elbow. Hey, get the ball tight to the body. Keep your elbow tight. Hey, deuces over the point. That's that pointer finger and middle finger over the point of the ball. But when there's a failure to maintain elite ball security, you have to do something the players don't like as an accountability measure. But we don't want it to be a beatdown or something that makes them hate practice. We do one perfect up down. What does that mean? If we make a mistake during a drill, we have bad ball security. It doesn't mean a fumble. It could be a drill. It could be during a play. All right? It could be on air. It could be in a team. It could be an inside run. It could be in 7-on-7. We're just going to say get them hot. All the offensive guys are going to get their feet hot, or everybody at that segment of the drill that's on the field. They're all getting their feet hot. Coach is going to hit the whistle. Tweet. They're all going to drop down, hit their chest, and then they're going to immediately pop up on their feet. As they pop up, they count. You don't count on the way down. You don't count when your chest hits. You count on the way up, so we count together. They count 1. If someone doesn't count, if someone doesn't hit their chest, we're going to say keep them hot. We're going to hit the whistle. Tweet. They're going to go down and do it again. They're going to count 1. It's 1 up down. Sometimes it takes them 10 to get 1, but it's 1 up down. 1 perfect up down. So here you can see we're doing the drill. And I told you we'll turn the drill. All right, if we're going to work the other arm, we're going to turn the drill. So they've turned that drill. Now on the other side, you're going to see it come in. They're doing it up down. All right, they pop up. Oh, someone must not have counted. Or someone was slow getting up because they're going to do it again. Coach said keep them hot. They do another one. Everybody hits their chest, pops up, counts, and boom, we're right back into the drill. You've got to have some accountability. Now let's talk in-game accountability before I get to the review. In-game accountability. All right, it's really easy. One of the biggest mistakes we make as coaches, especially you head coaches, all right, is you're going to say, get him out of there. Guy fumbles, you're going to say, get him out of there. All right. Here's the problem with that. You got a guy who does everything right, busts his tail, he accepts coaching, he feels bad about the fumble, he feels bad about dropping a pass, whatever it might be. And you say, get him out of there, and he comes to the side, and now you're yelling, get him out of there, coach, hey, you're not going the next one. And now he's going to sit there, and it's going to fester in his head. All right? It sounds like we should be, hey, we did a good thing, we held him accountable. That's not what we're talking about with accountability, because that kid that does everything right, he might beat himself up over it. You put him back in. Now he's worried about fumbling. All right? If that kid does everything right, he's always coachable. He works hard. He's not lazy with it. It matters to him, and he fumbles. I say get him back in and give him the ball the first play so he can get over it right away. Tell it, hey, man, your wrist dropped below your elbow. Your elbow came out. We got to take care of the football. I'm going to get it to you again because we need you for this game. Bam, put that guy back in and give him the ball. You just built his confidence after that mistake. That's important, all right? Now, if it's a guy that's lazy, he's that guy that you're constantly, he doesn't have good ball security. He flips the ball on the ground. He drops it on the way down. In practice, he's lazy in the drills. That's the guy that you say, hey, man, you're lazy in practice. It's starting to show in the game. You can't be doing this. I'm going to get you back in there, but not this series, all right? Accountability has to happen in practice before it can happen in games. You can't just all of a sudden have accountability in the game where you're going to bench a kid for that. So have accountability in practice so they get used to being held accountable. They get used to being coached. They get used to improving. And then when they make the mistake on the field, you know, is this a guy I need to get back in and get the ball to? Or do I need to sit him again? Do I need to set him out? And I can tell you right now, 2019, our running back, who's an unbelievable kid, best leader, probably one of the best leaders I've ever coached, ever seen at any level, one of the hardest workers, he fumbled in a game. And you could already tell that he was down about it. He knew it. And he went to the sideline, and I'm up in the box, and I look over, and the running back coach, who does a phenomenal job, did a phenomenal job with him, was going over to talk to him, all right, and said, hey, coach, you aren't going to take him out, are you? He's going right back in. See, the running back coach knew this kid, it matters to him, and he needed to get back in and get the ball in his hand so he could overcome the mistake immediately. And I said, yes. All right, get him back in. Is that what's best? Yes. So head coaches, coordinators, don't get mad, so mad that you make a decision that compounds that bad thing and think you're doing accountability. Hold them accountable with one perfect up down in practice. Hold them accountable by coaching them up in practice. But if you haven't done it in practice, you're going to do it in the game, and you're going to end up with a bigger problem. All right, so have accountability in practice so you know the right accountability for the game. All right, but that accountability is a big piece. Ball security is vital to winning games. We've established that. You've got to have the football to score. Ball security must be taught with intent. You cannot just go out and say high and tight and expect good ball security. I was out watching a scrimmage the other day, and first offensive player fumbled. All right, and they ended up fumbling 5 or 6 times. I was watching this team, and the coaches yelling, don't fumble the ball. No one's coaching specifics. You've got to coach specifics. Don't say don't fumble the ball. They already know that. Hey, your elbow's out from the body. Your wrist isn't above the elbow. Whatever your coaching cues are going to be. Ball security is everyone's responsibility. Every coach, every player, everybody's responsible because ball security is a choice. And you're either choosing to coach great ball security or you're choosing to allow poor ball security. Guys, accountability requires confrontation. You've got to confront the behavior that's below the standard immediately. But you don't have to do it in such a way that it destroys or breaks down team chemistry. Hey, get your wrist above your elbow. Hey, get the elbow tight to the body. It's that simple. You don't have to tell a kid that he's not a good player. No, that's not what you do. Coach the specific behavior. Coach the behavior every time and hold them accountable. And then build ball security drills into practice and then remind them. When you're watching film, like when our running back coach was watching film with these guys and it was a monkey roll drill, he'd say, see, that's a monkey roll drill. Great job. That's why that drill is important. Just like the quarterback coach has his quarterbacks, and when they're stepping up in the pocket, he's like, hey, that's T drill. That's a great job with the T drill. All right, with the receivers at the top of the right, hey, that's your cone drill right there. That's a great job with the cone drill. Make sure you build your drills into practice Show them, if you're showing practice film, show some drill film also. A little bit of good, a little bit of bad. Show them that stuff they got to fix. And then in the game, show them how the drill transferred to the field so they know that the drill is important. See, a lot of times we think, well, the kid doesn't care about the drill. No, he cares. He just doesn't think the drill matters. So show them that game footage, all right, of how the drill translates to the game. And accountability, man, you've got to hold people accountable. Fumbles are a choice. They are a choice, and they ruin seasons. I'm going to tell you right now, they ruin games, they ruin seasons. Fumbles can absolutely destroy your momentum. And if you can get a fumble, now you got a +1 in possessions. All right, what I want you to understand here is that ball security is something that probably doesn't get coached enough. Spend a little bit of time to coach it. Build that little bit of drill time during the season, 5 to 10 minutes a week, to work ball security, and then emphasize it through every aspect, whether it's inside run, team, or individual. Keep emphasizing your coaching cue, whether it's chin the ball or whatever you use, so that your players constantly hear it, so that it's always important. And understand this, you can beat people that you're not supposed to beat, all right, that everybody thinks you're not going to beat if you take care of the football, because you're going to get more possessions than they have if you can get some takeaways. You'll lose games, and I've done this as a coach. I've had turnovers cost us football games that we should have won. A few years ago, we were getting ready to play a team. They have the Harris poll had us favored as, I think we were 30-point favorites, and the other team was good. We were rolling, and our offense was coming off of a game where we had just, I think we had a 3-game stretch where we scored 165 points, and their head coach, they were interviewing him on Wednesday on the news. They said, hey, what's it going to take? And he said, well, to beat these guys, we know that we're not going to shut them down, but we've got to force turnovers. We've got to make them turn the ball over, and then we can't turn it over. And that's what it came down to. We didn't turn the ball over. They did turn it over. And while we were a better football team, we were able to win the game going away. We also won a game against a team we weren't supposed to beat. And it was the same deal. We didn't turn the ball over. We got 5 turnovers. We didn't think we were going to be, honestly, we felt like we were going to score, but probably the world didn't. But we knew it was going to be a tough one. Playing a defense that had given up 6 points in the first 4 games. And we come out and we scored 28 points against them. But we scored 28 points because we had a short field. All right? We had 3 turnovers inside it, where we got the ball inside the 20-yard line. So this ball security stuff is so vitally important, and I want to stress that to you. Again, I want to remind you to like and share, like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. A couple additional resources. I'm going to put links down below. I have a blog, coachvint.blogspot.com. I also have some videos on CoachTube. All right, you can go to coachtube.com, search Coach Vint or James Vint, and you can find some videos that I put out, and I'll be putting a few more out. And then I've got some books on Amazon. I'm on Twitter at Coach Vint, so if there's ever anything I can do, let me know. I hope you've got some things that you can use out of this video to help you to be able to take care of the football and ultimately score more points and win more games.